This is the 296th episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the first week of November 2018. This episode is titled Rebel Yell. CloudFocus Weekly is brought to you by Arkus, and we are hiring. If you are a Salesforce consultant or admin and want to be part of a unique and growing company, send your resume to careers@arkusinc.com. That's careers@arkusinc.com. You can also check out the job descriptions on the website. They're also at arkusinc.com and I think /careers. So makes sense. I'm your host, Jason Atwood. Joining me for very many times in a row, almost 300, is co-host Justin Elstein. Justin, how are you doing today?
Wow, that was fast. You did that really quick. The whole intro thing.
Yeah.
You flew through it. I'm all right. Thanks.
Here in the studio, at our studio table.
Studio B for Bird.
It is Studio B. Bird is having fun.
Bird's just gnawing at Bird's own feet.
Yeah, Bird is trying to go. She likes the there's a little nubbin, the screw to keep that thing on the side of the cage. The stick, she likes chewing at it. She also likes trying to open the door, and she can open the door, but she can't open it quick enough to fly out. So she opens it, and as soon as she lets go, it drops.
Animals are hilarious. You get them all these toys to play with, and they play with the thing that the toy came in, or the screw that keeps the toy attached to the thing.
We had a lot of toys for her originally, and she didn't like them. She never would touch them. So we just started pulling them out, and so now she's has her cuddle bones, and then that's it.
Well, she's got a mirror. That's all she really needs.
Well, that's her friend.
Well, yeah.
It's her friend's always there.
Hello, friend.
Hi,
Bird.
friend. Oh, you look just like me. Oh, there you are. Hello, friend.
Hello, bird friend. Wait, we're talking at the same time? They're always talking over each other.
I know. Or they're being quiet together. It's amazing.
Like twins.
They're in unison, always.
Like twins.
I think there's some birds. I thought canaries. My mother used to have canaries, and you couldn't put them near a window. A mirror. Because you put them near a mirror, they wouldn't sing. Because they sing to, attract other people. So they'd be like, oh, you're here. I'm not going to sing.
Oh, hey, you.
It's like, you go on in your relationship. You stop showering.
Is that where, bird brain comes in?
Yeah.
Is that where that? Okay.
Yeah, so...
Got it.
And you don't leave them near windows either, because they'll die from a draft. Canaries are pretty... All right. All right, so join us next week.
That got morbid fast.
On Bird Weekly. It's more bird news in the whole bird world. So we have some catching up to do. We have some blog posts and Salesforce topics to catch up with. And we have, I guess, another purchase of Salesforce. We'll talk about that. And then you, once again, cheated on me, and we'll talk about that.
I cheated on you?
You did cheat on me.
You've cheated on me a number of times.
I have cheated on you recently.
I do not call you out on it.
Well, when that time that I cheated on you gets shown to the world, and hopefully soon, yes, you can call me out at that point. I did cheat on you recently.
Whatever.
But with someone really important.
Whatever.
Okay, so why don't you start us off? What are we talking about today? What are these posts of blogs?
Well, when people write for this website called arkusinc.com, they usually write on what we call a blog or a weblog,
The weblog.
A weblog.
So ridiculous.
So our first, we have a lot of catching up to do. Oh boy.
We do.
So we've got one called Automated Chatter Posts in Salesforce Communities with Process Builder and Flow, a collaboration story.
I think I made
the title's a story.
I think I made fun of Amy on this one.
Thank you, Amy.
Because I was like, Amy, that's a very long title.
Thank you, Amy.
Can't even tweet that.
This came about because I was trying to do something in a community that we do all the time in our own org.
Yes.
Which was automatically mention a user about a particular thing that they had to take action on. In this case, it was a survey. The users are community users though,
right.
And the surveys in the community, so it's kind of just a custom object with a couple of questions in it that happens on a schedule. So after a thing happens, meeting, a post-meeting survey gets created via a process, and then I wanted to @mention the user to say, hey, here's your survey, take it. And I was having some trouble because the action itself to @mention the user via just process builder was not taking into account like the channel by which the post was being made. So the post itself was being made on the record,
Right.
but it was being made on the record and not in the community.
Oh.
It was just happening on the record. So the user that was being @mentioned couldn't actually see the fact that they were being @mentioned.
So you called up Avi, you had him write you a trigger, and you went for it.
No. What we did was we went to the community, and this is a collaboration story part of the story. We went to the answers community, asked very simply, here's what I'm trying to do, and I'm sure that we can figure this out somehow. And then someone answered it, and it was like, well, you just need to kick off a flow via your process. And Amy, being excellent at flow, her and I worked through this together. She helped me out with building out some of the variables and parameters to pass through the flow and create the actual message that we were going to use. And then all of a sudden, it started working.
Nice.
It was fantastic. So thank you to the community.
So you needed the flow because you couldn't get to the channel parameter.
We couldn't
with just the process.
Correct. We couldn't set the community ID essentially. Like this, because if there's a community set up in the org, when you go to post to chatter, there's actually a little drop down that says,
where are you posting?
Where are you posting this?
Right.
Are you posting this internally, or are you posting this to this community or that community? And we just needed to be able to set that. And I wasn't able to do that via just process.
Did you throw this on the idea exchange? Because it seems like it's just a also missing feature of process builder not to be able to reference that ID.
I think that they would say the way you solved it is exactly right. You would write a flow, and all of the information would be contained within this one node of the flow. It's a screenless, headless flow that has one action called post to chatter, and then you set everything up in there, and then the process just kicks the flow off. I don't think that's an idea or a gap. It's just knowing how to do it.
Yeah, interesting. I would say it's a great... We use, not for the community side, but we use chatter mentions, automated mentions, and one of the things that you and I thought about, but I think actually makes sense now. So maybe you lost
Agreed.
that.
I lost that one.
Okay, oh, good. Wait, put it on the board. Where is the Justometer today, by the way? How are we doing?
We're doing all right. We're doing okay. Well, ask me in 15 minutes.
Okay. Was that one of the tips I'll give you is if you're going to do this, put something in it that makes it seem like the post is automated. So for us, we put, I think, double brackets, auto post or something.
We do a bracket, and then we do, in all caps, for emphasis, auto -post, close it, and then whatever needs to be said after that. And it's usually @mentioning a person or multiple people that are referenced on a record. It's very useful for letting people know.
It's like better than doing an email. It's better than doing email.
Better. Yeah, because
then you can collaborate on it.
Yeah, like when things close, like close one or close lost, things happen. Processes need to occur, and we facilitate that with chatter posts.
Yep.
And a number of other things that we use it for.
Paid invoices.
And I will say Process Builder has really helped when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, really.
Because you used to have to write it in a trigger.
Right.
And now you can do it in about 10 minutes.
Yep. And do this thing. So anyway, the reason we did that is because you want to be able to separate out when you're because people can mention you, and there is kind of a difference between being mentioned from a live person needing real things immediately or a just kind of like, here's an FYI. And I would say the other thing I would do as a tip is put data in the post, right? So like one of the ones that we do for, I think we have project issues, like you would say, oh, there's been a new issue, and I was like, could you add in the details of the issue, because it makes it so I don't have to go. I can just look at the email and go, okay, and acknowledge it right from there. I don't actually have to go into the Salesforce and then look at the issue. I can be like, all the data I need is right here.
Which is another advantage of using Chatter in that way, because we used to do our issues and then we would have to remember to mention the person that needs to know about the issue, and all they'd get is a issue number and a @mention.
Right.
Now it's all automated, and you get all the information in the email if you're subscribed to get emails when you're @mentioned, which should be. It's a good thing. Then you get all the info you need, and you can even just reply to it right there.
Yep. It's
nice.
very, very useful, and it's good for...
But this is a shout out to the community also, by the way, not just
the community, like, about the community.
The Salesforce community, like the Ohana as it is.
And a shout out to Amy for writing it up for you.
And Amy wrote it up. We felt a great sense of accomplishment when we finished it, and it was like, that make a good blog post. So Amy took it and ran with it and wrote a way better post than I could ever write. So
great.
Lots of screenshots, made sure to obfuscate things. Very careful.
Yes. Don't want those secret sauce being thrown out there. All right. Next up is another blog post talking about pro bono Salesforce resources, written by Catherine, who heads up our marketing here at Arkus, and kind of just going over sort of some of the things you can get. Really events more. Of course, we all know about the Power of Us Hub and all the success community and answers and ideas and whatever. But there are some other events out there, which I didn't even know about. I didn't know that there was a Salesforce Pro Bono Week, which was 2 weeks ago, so not going to be.
Well, this post was posted at the same exact time.
Yes.
It was posted alongside Salesforce's Pro Bono Week.
Yes. Well, that was sort of the point, was to give that. And of course, if you're looking for other things, there's lots of resources in office hours that people have for a lot of different products. They're usually on Fridays. So if you're looking to find out information. And then we, of course, talked about our Arkus Pro Bono Day. So we do a Pro Bono Day, or a couple, I guess 3 this year, where we invite local nonprofits in New York to come in for basically a session, if you will, a session and some free consulting. I talked to Catherine about this yesterday, and I thought maybe we would do a little panel. We'd have maybe a panel of people and sort of answer questions that we
Can it be a round table?
Could be, but I like a panel. Like sit people up on like a little, those high stools. They do that?
That'd be fun.
So that's there if you want. You can go read that on blog.arkusinc.com. Next up, this one's a heavy one.
It's heavy.
Berkeley writes about Razor's Edge migration tips.
Yep. This is going to be targeted at a very specific audience. So if you're a nonprofit and you're listening to this podcast and you're on Razor's Edge and you're moving to Salesforce, this is a blog post for you. Or if you're an admin out there who has an org that is migrating to Salesforce from Razor's Edge, this is a blog post for you. If you're a consultant doing the same, this is a blog post for you. Not going to read the whole post because it's pretty in-depth.
Not going to.
We go into terminology and how to translate that terminology. Like, this is the Razor's Edge way of saying the words, and this is the Salesforce words.
It's a great post because I have not had to do a Razor's Edge migration, but I've had to watch many projects come through my fingers here as I engagement manage them or have to resource them, and I just know that they're difficult.
They're difficult, and this is a nice outline of the types of data that you need to migrate and the types of things that you need to think about as you're performing your migration.
Right. So
use it as a reference guide.
Do not. Well, you can go read this, but we're not going to read it. So thank you, Berkeley, for putting this together. Again, it's the title is Razor's Edge Migration Tips, and my guess is if you go to our website and type in Raise, comes right up. It comes up multiple. We have a couple. We have 2 Salesforce data migration from Razor's Edge, and we have Razor's Edge migration tips. So we have 2 blog posts about this.
Things change.
I think the other one's written by Ashley last year. So again, tons of nice resources there for you. Next up, is this it? Oh,
This is it.
This is it. Whew. I don't think we've covered half of the blog posts that have gone on.
I tried to go back
You go
about
back
a month.
since you went back to when we last podcasted? Ish.
Then we'd have like 8 or 9.
I will say the
CloudFocus whenever's really taking that whenever and
That
just
blog-
rolling with it.
intentionally so. I'm just saying we have a plan for the 300th episode and we're trying to time it out. That's my excuse, and I'm going to stick with it.
And
well, you've been cheating on me, and I've been cheating on you, so, lots of other podcasts.
blasphemy.
Yeah, it's true.
How dare you?
Those are other episodes, lost episodes of CloudFocus whenever.
Don't cheat on me.
Yeah, it's happened. All right, so last blog post by Haley is Winter 19 release, Spare the Critters.
Spare the critters.
I feel like this was, a veiled shot at me, maybe. Or not so veiled.
Not so veiled, just a shot across the bow.
Yeah, so it's funny because we talk about a lot on this podcast about Astro, and I think there's a myth out there in the universe that I don't like Astro. That someone saw me in an Astro T-shirt, and they're like, "I thought you hate Astro," and obviously it was Grover.
Whose voice was that?
Grover.
Yeah, it was Grover. Okay.
Why you hate? No, it's Yoda. I don't know what I'm doing. And I
Bird?
said,
Bird?
Bird's being very quiet. Shh, don't talk to Bird. She's hard at work.
She's trying to get that. She's trying to get that thing unscrewed.
So dumb.
Remember, brain very
Yeah,
tiny.
very tiny. She's like, I'm going to work on this all day. So this is really a blog post about, some of it starts off about the critters, and because we talk about the critters and the mascots, and really this just goes into Haley's take on it and how it kind of fits into leadership and evolution, human evolution. It's kind of interesting. It's a read. This is it's not a tome. It's more than the usual. But I found it funny that I got called out in one of the groups today, I think, saying, "Oh, I thought you guys don't like Astro, or you don't like Astro." Let's just get it out there. I think Astro's fine. It's just fine. I love the concepts. I love the marketing of it. I want a little separation of church and state. I would like Astro to be at all the Dreamforces, all the tours, all the T-shirts, all over your laptop, your company issued laptop. Have fun taking those off.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave them on.
Nope, I'm not taking them off for you again. No, thank you. Then you're never getting a new computer.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave them on.
Good.
I think people would enjoy having this secondhand.
I don't even know what that gorilla one is.
That?
Yeah,
Do you want me to embarrass you?
I just don't recognize it.
It's one of our clients. It's fine.
Oh, it's a gorilla.
It's an ape.
Oh, looks like a gorilla.
Well,
I mean,
can you distinguish the difference?
I've actually seen gorillas live in person in Africa, but otherwise, fine. You just tell me all about it.
It's Kong's logo.
Oh, it's Kong. Okay. So anyway, love Astro in the marketing world, outside of the software. I just don't need it inside. And your comment today was, with Winter 19, or I think summer, I think you could do themes. You can kind of get Astro out of there. It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to have all that kind of cartoony stuff inside the software.
You don't want Server Bear in your software?
I don't need Server Bear in my software.
If Server Bear's in your software's in trouble because Server Bear eats wires.
It's like Server
things.
Snake.
Server Snake, Server Bear. Did Server Bear turn out to be Cody? At the time, it was just Server Bear.
Well, we called it Server Bear.
Yeah,
We had many
what
jokes.
else were you supposed to call it?
We had many jokes about Server Bear, most of them not on this podcast. So anyway, if you want to read about that, that's also, again, something about the release, Winter 19.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
This was very much about, just to boil it right down, adoption and values. And how you can connect values to, if you can connect on values, then you can gain adoption. And that was that was my takeaway, was that people can connect to the values that the critters represent,
right,
and therefore can connect with the software and have some fun with it.
And I agree. I just think that they shouldn't be. The reason not to put it in the software is it's too fatty, too much of a fad, because you just know that the landscape of the mascots will change. Just like there was Chatty, just like there was all these other, they will change.
Who killed Chatty?
And I can tell you that it'll be hard for them to take it out of the software. So I just wish they'd just not put it in to start. Like you do not need those characters inside the software. Outside for values, for a trailhead, for trailblazing, for all that, for all the little cute badges like the Halloween badge. Awesome.
Are you Trailblazer?
I don't even know. Maybe?
I don't think so.
No. I have more badges than you do.
Do you?
Oh, I don't know. Are you Ranger yet? Did you get there finally?
I think I have more badges than you.
Really?
Challenge?
1, 2, 3, go.
Okay.
101, I think I have.
How do you know that off the top of your head?
Because I was there the other day. Well, like literally 2 days ago.
How do you know that?
Anyway, all right. So there's another blog post for you to go read.
Kind of interested now. I don't know off the top of my head.
That's
I know
good.
I'm a Ranger. I have exactly 101 badges.
There you go. Tie. No fun. All right. Let's talk about this acquisition. I don't even know what this happened. This is how much I've been sort of heads down in work recently.
Yeah, that's great.
Crunchbase reports that...
Well, it wasn't right. This is just... I just grabbed this so that we can have a little thing on Rebel. But this happened... It actually happened post Dreamforce, I believe. A company called Rebel, formerly called Rebel Mail. I believe this will tie together in the Marketing Cloud somewhere. Allows for sending interactive emails. So if you've ever gotten one of those emails where right within the body of the email you can take some action, like survey is probably the best example. So you know when you buy something on
Delta does that.
You know when you buy something on Square and you get that like receipt and then it asks you like just smiley face or frowny face?
Right.
That's interacting right within the email as opposed to going out to some other page.
Does it bounce you out?
It's not supposed to. That's what Rebel Mail is supposed to do, to have these interactive in-email experiences that, again, for me, my brain doesn't allow me to go outside of like survey because that's what I think of. But I imagine that you can do all sorts of fun things with like secure form inputs inside of the email body itself instead of having to go to a landing page to then fill out a form and then submit it.
I could see Amazon sending you an email very quickly after you didn't purchase things in your cart and shooting you the email with the cart and being like, hey, just click here in your email
click done.
And done. Like you forgot to say yes.
So Rebel does these interactive emails. And I have no idea when this will actually start being integrated into the platform. I do know,
right
however,
after Integration Cloud is up and running.
I do know, however, that like if you go to their website, it's just like, yeah, Rebel's part of Salesforce now. Salesforce is going to integrate the technology into the Marketing Cloud, enabling brands to increase engagement, conversion, and actions taken by their customers right from the inbox. We're thrilled to join.
Do you think like Marketing Cloud, or do you think more like Pardot?
Marketing Cloud.
Marketing Cloud. Okay.
Yeah, probably Marketing Cloud first, and then maybe Pardot. I mean, they're totally different things. So.
Yeah. But both do emails.
Yeah, but Pardot's starting to move towards like, let's be on the platform Sales Cloud as opposed to Marketing Cloud as its own platform, staying over in its own platform.
And I think that's why we like Pardot a little bit better than Marketing Cloud.
So far.
Yeah.
That's so far.
Tiny little company, too. 11 to 50 people.
They did one thing and they did it well.
There you go.
Good for them.
So fascinating. Moving on. All right, let's talk about the cheat.
I cheated on you.
That's my cry.
That's it.
Yeah. What happened? What'd you do?
So it was recorded at Dreamforce.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the 2 Wit podcast.
Mm-hmm. Who were the hosts on there?
Melinda and Christy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to mention their last names because I think Christie's may have just changed, so I don't want to mess that up. Sorry. And
It's just something generic for both of them, like Smith.
yeah,
So there you go.
Good job. Very nice. Nicely done.
Yeah, I thought
so they did a podcast of podcasts, and this is version 1. Apparently, there's now 12 community podcasts.
Salesforce community
Salesforce,
podcast?
yeah. But I think that 11 of them are community, and one of them is like the Salesforce admin podcast that was, I guess, the spinoff of Mike Gerholt's podcast. So I was on here. I did it with Melinda. She asked me a couple questions. I answered. I'm in this version 1, this V1 of it. I will say I was a little upset that when I listened to it and when she was interviewing the guys on Wizardcast, she had said that they were the OGs of this. And they said, oh, no, we've been doing this for 3 years.
Sorry.
Actually, Mike Gerhold is the OG of this. And I continued to remain upset. That might be just the jealousy bone in my body. But I was like, wait, just hold on a second, because this podcast that we're talking on right now, we're the OGs of this thing. We were the first Salesforce podcast out there.
Bird
right,
agrees.
Bird? And actually, when Mike Gerholt was a part of, when he started his button click admin, which was a huge thing and a big phenomenon, it was a blog, not a podcast. And we had him on as a guest.
Yep.
And maybe he caught the little bug and decided, let me go podcast now with his partner Jared there. And then he got bought out by Salesforce and all that other fun stuff. But I'm going to just correct it on this podcast that we're the OGs of this. We're almost at 300 episodes. No one's even close. So I'm just going to leave it right there.
Wow.
Mike.
Don't drop that mic. Thank you.
Mike holding
Yes.
and Mike placing down.
Place the mic gently
The mic
down.
just got placed.
Well, I can't wait to listen to this.
I've already listened. It was good.
Well, you were on it.
Well, no, I listened to my part, but I also listened to the rest of it. The Two Wit podcast is really good. They're very funny.
I've listened to a few of their episodes, generally about somebody that I'm interested in hearing about, because they do more
They have
interview
guests.
style. Yeah. Unlike us, we don't have guests.
I like their ramblings, or whatever they call it. What were we called out for?
Oh, yeah. By the way, why are we not talking about that? We've been called out in 2 different news
Two
articles.
different articles. So there's one from the Business News Daily, the 7 best podcasts for Salesforce fanatics, and we were the first one listed, or the second one. Sorry, but this writer Mona Bushnell, who's the staff writer for Business News Daily, said at the end that it's relatively easy to search the catalog of episodes 295 and counting for what you're looking for, but the hosts are definite ramblers, and the show could use a bit more editing. Sorry to burst your bubble, Mona, but we don't edit anything.
There's no editing.
There's no editing. I don't know if you think
By
we're like more professional than we come off, but we don't edit this thing.
By more, you mean any?
Like some?
we
Like
should go
the
from-
most editing we do is like you lay in the music in the on the
No,
front
I don't even
and
lay
on
it
the
in.
end.
I record it right on top of it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sitting here as
Brilliant.
we record it into the track that I literally move 2 pieces of music around, the beginning and the end, and I sometimes make sure that it sounds good, hit go, boom, off to the races.
So
it's
we
published.
don't
No editing.
podcast at all. Or sorry,
Yeah,
edit at all. We podcast whenever we feel like it. And anyway, thanks for the shout out, Mona. That was nice.
Yeah, it was nice. And then IDG
There was
wrote us
another
up.
one. IDG wrote us up as just a tech pod 7. They like the number 7, like top 7 tech podcasts to listen to this fall.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So if you've been looking for us because of that,
Sorry.
you're sadly mistaken, because we've recorded all of 0 episodes this fall. Now we have Bird in the background.
Someone went and subscribed, and then they got the second episode. They got one about Dreamforce. Like, oh, this is so fun. Then they get one about Bird.
They get the one about the vacuum cleaner Dreamforce, and then they get this Bird one. Sorry. Thanks for subscribing. Just stick with the subscription. We'll take the download numbers, and
Yes.
you don't have to listen. It's
All
up
right.
to you.
Let's get to what they actually called out as the fun part of the episode, which we stole. So I'm not going to say we're OGs of this. I stole this from MacBreak Weekly.
Leo Laporte.
That's right.
Leo Laporte's the man.
Which they made a pick of the week, and I thought that was super cool. So I said, let's do a pick of the week. So we have been doing picks of the week. We've done hundreds. Let's do some more today.
Okay, so I went ahead and purchased this product called Eero. It's spelled EERO.
Is there a niner in there somewhere?
No, it's actually very simple. Just 4 simple letters. And Eero, if you've ever heard of like Wi-Fi mesh systems.
Tell me, what is a Wi-Fi mesh system?
I don't know.
That's exactly.
I said, if you've ever heard of a Wi-Fi mesh system,
Then you should call me and tell me what it means.
Then you should just go on Wikipedia and read about it, dummies.
It's the best. He's like, if you've ever heard of this thing, what is it? I don't know what it is. I just bought this thing.
Here's the deal. I didn't care what it was.
Okay.
What I needed was, I have an apartment. It's not like super large, but it has a lot of weird walls in weird places. And it was blocking my super fast internet from where it, the source, which was on one side of the apartment, all the way on the other side of the apartment, the bedroom.
Maybe
was
40
just,
feet away.
Literally, but the signal just was not carrying in there.
Right.
To the point of it being like, it's a terabyte down in the office where
and it's like half a meg up.
Yeah.
Recently.
But when you'd be in the bedroom, it'd be like 3 megabit. And I'd be like, wait a minute.
What is this, Baltimore?
Yeah, what is this? What is this? So first I tried extending it through using an old Apple
Airport Express.
Airport Express, right? So I had a time capsule and then an Airport Express, and I made a network and tried to extend it, and that worked okay. But then I was just having more and more troubles with it, and it was just dropping the Airport Express. And so I started doing some research. This company, Eero, stood out. And
is this the one that's connected to RCN, your provider?
It has nothing to do with RCN.
Because one of them, RCN, has picked one of these mesh technologies, and they're like, it's either this one. There's about 7 of them now. There's
there's
tons.
a bunch.
There's a Google one. Google has one.
Google has one. There's a few other companies. I researched them. This one had really great reviews, and I went ahead and bought the system where it's one. It's actually like 3 units, and I can tell you without a doubt, the internet in my apartment is just flawless now. It works. It's great. It's super fast. If you're streaming things, it's amazing. If you're downloading things, it's amazing. And it works everywhere without issue. And it was super simple to set up. You set it up on your phone in the app. It's really, really easy.
It feels like when anybody's created one of these, they had to come up with something, like they had to come up with a funny name for it. So here's the names: Eero, Veloop, Luma, Orbi, and Ubiquity. Like, those are the names of these things.
Whatever.
Anyway,
this one works really well.
And Google Wi-Fi, because their naming convention's awesome.
Eero, EERO, really good, super fast to set up, like dumb simple. Like, I did it myself. That's how simple it was. And couldn't recommend it more.
Huh. Interesting.
If you have a house with a basement and you like weird place,
so
like that's what it's all about.
The partner that shall not be named, that we never name, he did this about a year ago in his house in Jersey, and he said it was great. It really solved the issue.
He uses a different product.
Yes, he does not use whatever he uses.
Doesn't have Eero. He has a different one. But
anyway,
it's great because it's these little beacons, and if they can see each other, then the signal just transmits through them and keeps the signal. It's really, really well done.
If you think about the way a Wi-Fi router kind of goes out from it, like in rings, right? So if you think about rings, this does create more of a mesh. So instead of having these little rings that kind of go out, it then creates a mesh across, so through the walls and things like that. So it makes the signal much better. I've thought about it, and I'm super into all the tech, although I don't have any issues.
You don't have issues. You don't have these like weird walls that I have.
And I put mine sort of in the center of the apartment, and just, I don't know, there's nothing around that doesn't get at least 50 or 60 anywhere in the apartment.
Yeah,
so.
the weird one, the reason why I needed this was because
For your bedroom.
the kitchen, all the appliances, they say that really can crush
it
a
all.
Wi-Fi signal.
Cool. Well, that is Eero. Couple $100-ish.
It varies. You can get one, you can get three, you can really...
One is kind of just putting a router together.
Yeah, one's just a router. But you can do beacons, you can do entire modems, like...
So the issue I would say, and be careful, this is your learning experience, but you have to be careful if you do this, because I've done this once, is that when you do this, you are creating a new network.
Yes, you are.
And that means anything that's connected to your network, and you are surprised by how many things are connected to your network.
Yep.
And in my house, since I just did this whole smart home thing,
You've got lots of things.
I mean, I might have 60, 70 devices that are connected up.
The Eero shows me I had about 15.
Yeah.
15 things connected to it.
And that's the thing. You should look at what because I mean, they all do the same job, which is to make your Wi-Fi better. But you should look at like what they report on and their security, because that's kind of why I've always stuck to the Apple side of things, is because they've been pretty good at updates. Because what I don't want is my router to be insecure.
So you know what the hardest thing to update was with this whole rigmarole?
What?
Sonos.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because Sonos needs to be hardwired in for the first setup.
Anyway.
And then once one speaker is set up, then it can just do the rest of them. But boy, that was a pain.
So I'm gonna make hi Bird. I'm gonna make a pick that you suggested, and you have one. I have it.
How dare you?
But I have not done anything
Stealing
with it.
my pick.
I did some apartment work this summer, and I got rid of a lot of furniture, which I'm now finding I don't have as much storage space as I ever did, which is kind of interesting. But I had a standing desk unit that kind of went on top of a real desk. It clamped in, and then it would go up and down. I really liked it. When you got your new apartment, you went and got one of these, which is the fully standing desk. So it's just changing it from being from the one piece of it going up and down to the whole thing. And you see this a lot in offices where the whole desk goes up and down, which of course is interesting because they're now, so just for the standing desk people, if you stand the entire day or if you sit the entire day, both are bad. Like, variation is what you need. So stand, sit, do some sit-ups, do some jumping jacks, do some stretches. Don't stay in one modality for the entire day. So anyway, you suggested this. It's a great company. This is it, right? Yes, it is Fully. It's the Jarvis, but they have a whole line of them.
Well, Fully is the website. Jarvis is the brand of
Jarvis
desk.
is the brand of the desk, right? They're made by Fully at Fully.com. And then they have a bunch of them. They have corners. They have whatever. They sell a bunch. I went with they actually have a reclaimed wood one.
I did the product red.
Of course you did.
Of course I did.
Of course you
with
did.
With the bamboo top.
Yeah. And so they ain't cheap. I'll tell you that much. But
they start off reasonable, and then you start adding all the things, and then it's like, oh, what did I just do?
Yeah, that's true. If you just get the desk, it's
desk.
$395.
It's all good. That's a desk, right? $395. That's a desk.
And then all the things, and then you're like, ooh, this is a lot. There's actually one called Jarvis Atwood.
Oh, did you get that one?
I did not. I wanted to get the reclaimed wood one, so it finally came. It's sitting in my den, ready to be set up. I'm very excited. I might try to do it this afternoon. But I've seen yours, and it's a very cool thing. So if you're looking for a standing desk, they're very strong. I think that's what you're looking for. You don't want wobble. Like if you've never done a standing desk, what you don't want is when you're standing to be typing away at your computer and have it be wobbling, kind of like this table we're sitting at right now. All right. Well, that's it. That's it for our podcast. Look at that. November. See you in December.
November in the books. We skipped October.
Did we really?
Jeez.
We're the worst.
We should have done this 3 days ago. Then we could have said we didn't skip October.
We can't
Happy Halloween!
We can't even say CloudFocus Monthly at this point.
CloudFocus whenever. I'm telling you, it works.
So you can follow us on Twitter at Just Edelstein, at Jason M. Atwood, at Arkus Inc., Facebook.com, Success Community, Power of Us, Hubs, LinkedIn, Google+, for all the places. Subscribe and review. If you're listening to us on one of these many platforms, drop us a review. That we'd really love it. We are still planning to do some hybrid. Here's when they do some nice 300th episode fun. I'm not going to talk about it yet, but maybe it'll be fun. Maybe some new stuff if we can get it together for that. Until then, as always, Justin and Jason saying, enjoy those cloudy